From the very start, Michael Chang dominated competition in the junior ranks. Chang captured the national 18s in 1987 at the ripe age of 15. Chang had a tremendous work ethic and family support from Joe, Betty, and his brother Carl. Chang won 34 tournaments and reached number 2 in the world in 1996. Chang won the French and reached 3 other major finals.
Well, I've known Michael Chang for many years, and it goes back to when our son competed against him from the 12 and under on up in the juniors. And I was so impressed with his ability. And of course, he beat our son every time. And I followed him very closely as he entered the men's and had so many great victories. Obviously, winning the French Open is a great achievement. And such a nice person and from such a wonderful family.
Michael was a very special player. I know the players really didn't like playing Michael because they called him the everywhere man, because everywhere you hit the ball, he was already there. You know, he had not only great movement, but great anticipation, and he had a big heart. He played a lot bigger than his 5'9" frame because he had such a huge heart, and he just would not give up until the very last ball. So Michael was a very, very special talent.
In a match for the ages, Michael Chang, at 17 years of age, played a contentious Yvonne Lendl. Cramping so badly, Chang couldn't sit down between changeovers. He pulled off the miracle from 2 sets down to upset Lendl and eventually become the first American to win Roland Garros since Tony Traber in 1955.
I don't believe it.
I remember he beat Lendl in that great 5-set match and ended up winning it, and it was an unbelievable moment for his career and for tennis. I mean, he was, I think, 17 at the time, the youngest guy ever to do it, and kind of woke me up to maybe I can win a slam or two, and it was an unbelievable effort.
Well, Michael, I think, is probably one of the best competitors that has played the sport. Fully undersized especially for today's game. But very, very smart player, great competitor, and got 110% of 100%, which is not very easy to do. So he was an absolute tough guy to play against.
The memory that I have specifically about Michael Chang is playing him in Indian Wells at that tournament and losing the first set close, being up 6-2, 3-1. So winning the second set for me, up 3-1 in the third. He falls over in the corner, sprains his ankle, takes a long injury timeout. Literally, when he walked on the court, he was taking one step with the good foot and then dragging the other leg. Step and dragging the other leg. From 3-1 for me, 6-3 for him. I lost 5 games in a row. He couldn't walk, except that he could play. And to this day, I'm not sure exactly how that happened, and it still annoys me, as you can see.
I admired Michael Chang a lot. I mean, what he did for, winning a Grand Slam at such an early age, for being a guy that wasn't big at all. He got every ounce out of his body, out of his tennis game, and heck, he won the French Open, so that's a huge accomplishment. He's one of the great American players.
Michael certainly was one of that great group of American players of the 90s. In our tournament in Indian Wells, he won it 3 times, and so he was really one of the outstanding players, one of the youngest, if not the youngest player to ever win the French Open, and so he certainly was one of the great players of the 90s.
Chang won titles in 3 different decades, played 55 Grand Slam tournaments, youngest to ever rank in the top 5, youngest in 60 years to be named to the 1989 Davis Cup team. His accomplishments all started in Southern California, and tonight we honor one of the greats, Michael Chang.